Wonder Boy and Monster World on the Nintendo Switch. This is part of the Wonder Boy collection that I obtained from the Maryland Library System. I'm doing another video because I screwed up recording the other one because the music was too loud and frankly it's not very good. So I'm not going to waste your time listening to the music of Wonder Boy and Monster World. As I mentioned in my other videos from this collection, Wonder Boy is an arcade game that was remade as Adventure Island here in North America. So if you remember Master Higgins, that was him. That's what this game was based on. Wonder Boy in Monsterland I played earlier. It's a side-scrolling game where you can buy stuff. That's basically all you need to know about it. It's a really clumsy game. I'm not going to play much more of that. I did play this game on the Xbox One several years ago, because I want to say it's included as part of the Sega Genesis Classics collection, but my recording was not particularly well done. I think the video of my Xbox One was bugged. There was a bug in the footage recording process, so it started dropping a lot of frames. So my audio is way out of sync with the video. So we'll just make this our official research stream. Though it's technically not a research stream, it's a game I've already played. I remember the music in Wonder Boy and Monster Land. Remember Wonder Boy 2? Wonder Boy and Monster Land actually had some pretty good music in it. Really old school chiptune stuff from the late 1980s. Music in this game is not as good. I want to say this is a Genesis only game. I don't know if maybe it came out on the PC Engine. I don't know. I need to look that up. I'll probably put some extra details in the description. We're going to start from the beginning. I already made it to the first castle where the Oracle is. There's a little music playing puzzle about 20 minutes into the game. But we're just going to play the game as if we don't know what we're doing, even though I pretty much know where to go. I wasted a bunch of time the first time I played this game, trying to figure out what to do. I think what kind of music would I put here? I think a perfect soundtrack for this game would be like Wanderers from Ease. Like, so I'll dig up some of them. I still own Wanderers from Ease on the original PlayStation, on the original PC Engine. I think I still own that CD, so I'll pull out some music from that and play that here instead. Because it's a much better soundtrack than the music they got going on here. I mean, do I need an excuse to play the music from Wanderers from Ease 3? I would hope not. Once again, this world is being threatened. The world's always being threatened. Some princess is always being captured. Okay, this game came out in 1991. Back in the mid-1980s, probably the early 1980s, video games didn't have stories, obviously. So you needed to motivate your hero. Well, you could save the world from a bad guy, yeah, whatever. But you know what every hero needs to do back in the 1980s is save a girlfriend, save a woman of marriageable age. Because that's what video games do back then. I mean, why am I saving a princess? Why can't I just save the kingdom? Why does there have to be a pretty girl at the end? I don't have enough money for this. Why does there have to be a pretty girl at the end of the road to make it worth my trouble? And some games were just stupid with it. Like there were games where, whoops, keep forgetting that. There were games where that had nothing to do with saving anybody, but then at the end you end up saving somebody. I'm like, this has nothing to do with saving a princess. Nothing that I'm doing in this game has to involve saving anyone who's ever been abducted. So what am I even doing exactly? Those shoes in the building I just left that were on sale, they can be purchased relatively quickly, but I think all they do is increase my speed. So you can see my basic walking speed, which is not that fast. But if you want to sit there and grind, we can. Oh, by the way, the name of my weapon is the Gradius, so I was joking in my previous Wonder Boy game that I'm using the Gradius to destroy the Vic Vipers, which are the snakes that I was slashing a few minutes ago. Unfortunately, because my base walking speed is so slow, I'm probably better off just moving ahead. Because I can just sit here and gather, like, you know, pennies for the next 2 or 3 minutes and earn enough money to buy those shoes. See, I got a bunch of gold there. I can also earn a spear at some point in the game. I can buy that. But it doesn't seem to be much better. It's barely any better than the weapon that I'm using. In fact, I can't think of a single useful ability. I can't think of a single useful reason to have that weapon available. I should mention this game does not come with a manual that's of any use. In fact, let me pull out the box. This game, unlike most video games here in the year of our Lord 2023, it does include a manual, but it's not a manual. It's actually more of an insert. It's literally like a, what is it? It's like a 3x3 sheet of paper that you fold, and it includes the controller layout. That's it. That's the manual. This game needs a manual, or at least a strategy guide, or if not that, some hints, because there's some really obtuse puzzles later in the game, and a lot of stuff is not explained here. Like, eventually, later on in the game, we're going to start picking up some items, but we're not going to be able to use them because, well, we are going to be able to use them, but I can tell you that the game does not tell you how to use the items you've collected. I figured it out by accident. And it's not very intuitive at all. So I hope I'll tell you how to do it once I pick up the items. So I guess this game is sort of a tutorial. This video is sort of a tutorial because there's a lot of stuff in this game that is not explained, and you're gonna have to figure it out by accident, or you're gonna have to go on the internet and go to a walkthrough or something. Because you know how it is. You know, in the old days, you had like a manual with a video game like this, and the manual may hopefully tell you how to play the game. Like, they'll actually tell you all the obtuse controls that they have in these games. Because old games, I hate to say this, a lot of old games were simpler than modern games, but they tended to need manuals because they never really explained the mechanics very well. Like, how do you select it? Like, once you select an item, how do you equip it? More importantly, once you equip it, how do you select the item that you've equipped? The game doesn't tell you that stuff. Nowadays, there'd be like a built-in manual. There's a manual built into video games with tutorials that explain how to equip stuff. Or the game might stop for like 2 or 3 minutes at the start of the game to tell you something new, so that you can, so the game will explain how to do an important thing. Old video games weren't like that, obviously. So you're gonna get a game like this, and you're not gonna have a manual. You're gonna say, "How do I play this game?" Because I can imagine. Remember, I grew up playing games that were way more obtuse than this. Without manuals, because I had Nintendo Power with me. So if I had Nintendo Power magazine or some strategy guide that explained how to do things. Like Bionic Commando, perfect example. Remember Bionic Commando? Okay, if you're watching this video, you probably remember Bionic Commando on the NES. That manual was notoriously terrible, because it didn't tell you how to earn continues. The game never told you can even continue the game at all. The game never told you. The game just flat out would not tell you things. Like basic, like, if you were playing the game without a manual, you might have thought, oh, I have 3 lives. If I lose them, I die. Well, did you know you can earn continues in Bionic Commando? Oh, really? Oh, there are those stages that involve a helicopter. And if you intersect with a helicopter, you can, well, not that dude in the water. If you intersect with a helicopter, you can begin a top-down stage where a particular enemy can be killed. And if you kill that specific enemy, you get a continue. You get an eagle, which serves as a continue. Again, how would you know that unless you had the manual? Actually, the manual didn't tell you that. But I don't think most video game manuals were that obtuse, but that was probably the worst example of them all. Okay, you have to jump on this thing's head, and then do this. So, that took me a couple of minutes to figure out, but yeah, just keep that in mind. You gotta hop on that enemy with proper timing. Now, this is the place you want to go to actually earn some health. You want to earn some money right here. Pokey pokey. The range on this sword is not particularly good, unfortunately, so I don't know what to tell you. So if I spend the night at the inn, I can save my game, because this game, this is not a role-playing game. A lot of video games in the late 1980s, early 1990s gave you the ability to save your game using a built-in battery. Because I think in the late 1980s, I think people started to figure out that passwords were cumbersome, so why even bother having them? And batteries cost, what, $3 to $4, I guess, to put inside a cartridge, so. I don't know exactly what the batteries saved. I want to say that they saved. If you think about it, batteries basically were a way to save your status. They functioned like passwords. So if you have a battery that automatically saves all of your settings, like all of your attributes, it saves all of your items, it saves your location in the game, it basically functions as a password. It's just a persistent way to save your password, so that you don't have to spend 5 minutes typing in some password with a bunch of characters that look like 1s and L's. or zeros and O's, you know what I mean? Guys, do you not know the struggle? Back in the day, if you had a video game with upper and lowercase letters, and it had, you know, ones and lowercase L's and I's, or capital I's or lowercase L's or ones, you were a hose. Because how would you ever, you would have to write it down in a way that you could determine the difference between an O and a zero. Stuff like that. To this day, I work in IT. To this day, I tell people, if you're writing something down, make it obvious that it's a number and not a letter. That's a small spear. I can't buy it. The spear is not much better than my sword. It might have a longer range, but it also has a spinning attack. You know how in Daffy Duck, when he was Robin Hood, did the ho-ha, guard turn, parry, dodge, spin stuff? He can spin it like a drum mage, like a baton, and like a cheerleader with a baton. That was her thing. At least that would have been a cheerleader's thing. So we can pick up that weapon later. You can also pick up a sword. You can also pick up a shield if you want to use your sword. But if you buy the spear, you can't equip the shield. So I guess keep that in mind. This video is much better than the last one I did because, one, I know what I'm doing, and two, I have a lot more to say. So that probably helps. My brain's been kind of sluggish the last couple of days, so it's nice to finally get back to the rhythm of things and playing a video game. Like I said, the struggle is real. Yeah, we're gonna save our adventure, whatever. So when we get up, I guess I can do a manual save. Because remember, this is a modern video games. We have save states. What do I get? An 8-hour boost to my weapon ability, like in Fallout 3 or something, when I get a good night's sleep? I don't think Fallout 3 cannot have been the first game where sleeping mattered. Because I want to say if you can choose how long you want to sleep in that game. If you sleep for more than a certain number of hours, if you sleep at least 8 hours, I think the game gives you a well-rested bonus, quote unquote, which I think increases your stamina or something. Or I think it increases the amount of experience you get. Just a second, I'm setting up my DVR to record a rerun of a football game. It's like a good game, too. It's the game where Drew Brees set the single-game passing record for touchdowns. Or at least he tied it. Did he set it or did he tie it? It was in 2015, so whatever. It was in 2015. Back when Drew Brees was still a threat. And he wasn't in front of a camera trying to pretend he could do analysis. Drew Brees is he was obviously a great football player, but he was a bit of a stick in the mud when it comes to doing analysis. He's not the most charismatic dude, and trust me, I can relate. I try to keep things light on this channel, but I'm not going to pretend to be some kind of super charismatic goofball. I'm not one of those YouTubers. I'm not one of those loud black nerds. That's the other guy. I'm the other kind of black nerd. Okay, am I going to buy some of this? Yeah, I'll think about buying it. Do I want this? I want to say no. But I have enough money to buy it if I have to. I'm not going to buy the spear. Maybe I could buy the shield, though. I guess I don't know what purpose it would serve. Because I don't think I can block anything. I can also press up between these statues to go up to the sky. So we'll do that later. It's the Sky Palace with the fairy and all that good stuff. Because it's a fantasy game. I'm Sonia. The village is under attack. I don't know all the details. You better see Eleanor. If you stand between the statues and look up, you can find her. See, I mentioned this in my previous aborted video. See the little shimmering lines to the left of me next to the fire? It's a nice touch. But there's not a whole lot of detail like that in this game. This very much feels like an indie game. But it seems like a decent indie game, because it's the kind of game where they're trying to add role-playing elements, but it's clearly just a side-scroller. It's a side-scroller where you can, buy your upgrades. So instead of, killing enemies who drop them, you just buy them. And the enemies constantly respawn, as you see. They respawn very aggressively, by the way. They respawn all the time. It's worse than Simon's Quest. Yeah. So go talk to Sonia, who I already did. I guess the medicine's for healing yourself if you do something stupid, like run out of health. Like I said, the range on this sword is terrible. I don't know if poking is much better. Whoops, didn't even do that. I don't know if poking gives me more range. But if I poke like Nina Williams in a Tekken game, I think I might get a bit more range than just swinging it. I mean, there's a way to find out, for instance. Like, what's the range on this? Like, that reaches to the left side of the statue. That reaches slightly beyond the statue, I think. So that might be something to test. Like, if I swing my sword like this, do I reach just as far as I do when I swing like that? It looks like I'm getting a couple of extra pixels of distance. So it looks like it looks like I get a bit more range with that weapon. I'm not sure. But it's just not. It's just like this is the kind of thing that I would like if I were a supervising director on this game, I would say, okay, make the sword swing a little bit longer. Like the collision detection on this sword is way too finicky. So I would make it a bit more generous. This is not a very comfortable range, a melee range. Like it feels like you're jabbing. It feels like you're jabbing enemies with a pencil. And I think if you're swinging a sword like this, you should get a bit more range on it. So that's disappointing. I mean, it's a little bit better. I guess it's not much worse than Wonder Boy 2, if you remember that video, but I'm very disappointed in the range of the sword. So the basic sword is not that useful, unfortunately. If you can get a spear, I guess you might get a little bit more distance, but it doesn't seem to be that much longer. Like, I don't think the distance you get on that spear is that much longer than this. I got plenty of gold now, so that's good. So I got Priscilla here. She's going to help me get through the cave we're headed towards. There's a dead end here that we're going to try and get through with Priscilla's help right here. Again, I don't know what purpose she's serving. I guess she's helping. She doesn't seem to be weakening the enemy. So again, I'm crouching and poking because I think I'm getting a bit more range. These enemies aren't hard. It's just that the range on my weapon is so short that it makes them more dangerous than they would normally be. Because you have to time your attack with such incredible precision. It ain't great. Thankfully, you get quite a bit of gold by killing these enemies. So I appreciate that. You don't have to grind as much. Oh, I don't have the ocarina. Oh, crap. I don't have the ocarina. Just a second. It should be down there. The door's been sealed. But there should be an ocarina on the floor, right? Yeah, there's supposed to be an ocarina down there. Okay, so I think I have to backtrack because I don't know how to get the ocarina. Because I need an ocarina to open that door. And this is the part where I screwed up because I don't know when it spawns. Because Priscilla's with me, but I don't know why the ocarina's not appearing. Like, am I missing something obvious? Because it's supposed to be right here. It doesn't appear the first time. I think I might have to backtrack. Again, this is the kind of obtuseness I'm talking about. Like, again, this game does not come with a manual. So how was I supposed to know that? Is there an item here I need to equip? No. Well, here's another thing. I should have some magic, by the way. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I should have some magic. See, I have magic here. So this is an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, so I've put magic on the top right-hand corner of the screen. See that? So here's the question, kids. How do I use this magic spell? Let me save my game before I do anything. We're gonna save over that crap. Can I delete this? Yeah, we can delete that. Okay, so we're starting over from the beginning. I don't care. Okay, so how do I use this magic spell, kids? Place your bets. What button do I press for the magic spell? The X button? The A button? It doesn't work. Can I hold up and press? Okay, do I hold? That's the magic. Okay, so that's on the upper right-hand corner of the screen, but I'm pressing left. Is that how I do that? So again, how does it work? X. So I hold X and press left. Can I just keep doing that? Oh, it ran out. So I only had 3 charges. Oh, okay, so I only have 3 charges. Okay. So maybe I have to run back to the end to recharge it. So I only had 3 charges I can do. But again, how would you have figured that out? I'm just guessing. I'm using my powers of 20th century obtuse video game design analysis to figure out how that magic spell was accomplished. Again, there's nothing in the game that explains how that was done. So it's a good thing I have save states. So I have 3 charges. So if I ever want to do that again, all I have to do is hold down the X button and press left on the D-pad to choose the magic spell that's there on the left side of the... See the left side of the D-pad right there? That's where it is. I can move it over to the right side if I want. I can move it over here. So now I can hold down the X button and press right to shoot the firestorm. Like Valkyrie profile. Was it Jolanda? I think it was Jolanda, who was the Valkyrie profile chick who hit people with the firestorm. I'm never going to pass up an opportunity for a Valkyrie profile reference. Don't try to stop me. I can't be contained. Neither can the Death Goddess. Okay, so you get the idea, right? I mean, you don't get the idea, but I hope I've conveyed how obtuse that whole process was. Using magic should not be that complicated. Remember, the Genesis was a 3-button controller. You had 3 face buttons, A, B, and C, and you had the start button, which was used to pause the game or bring up this menu. So you don't want to reuse that for magic, obviously. So what button would you press for magic, kids? Because remember, you have 2 magic spells, not just 1. Options. Controls. Spin attack. Again, not a very helpful description of what's happening here, but here we go. Not going to set the binding. Okay. As we were saying. Like I said, these respawns are really aggressive, dude. Like they will jump a brother. they will bounce. What? These guys are really aggressive. Brothers hopping out of the bushes. They're coming out of the gosh darn walls. These might be some of the most aggressive spawns I've seen since Bionic Commando in the arcade. Remember that game? That game has some really nasty spawns in the arcade. Like, enemies are just coming at it from every freaking angle in that game. Of course, this game isn't nearly as hard as Bionic Commando in the arcade, but that game is notoriously terrible, by the way. Like, I played through it. I think it was one of the Capcom arcade collections on the PS2 or the PSP. It was one of those games. What? That? Wasn't paying attention. See, again, really aggressive spawns. You gotta pause your game, for real. But yeah, that... Bionic Commando is a terrible... Like, the arcade game is absolutely terrible. Like, it's clearly a first draft. The NES game improved in every way that mattered. It's a much better game on the NES. Yeah, I need to go back to talk to Sonya, because she used to give me a freaking... ocarina. Like I'm Link or something. It does kind of suck that the mechanics in this game aren't as tight. The controls aren't as tight as they are in Zelda 2 on the NES, which is a game that's like 4 years older than this. So that's kind of disappointing. But it just goes to show that polishing a game on a 16-bit console isn't always easier than polishing it on an 8-bit console using 1982 vintage hardware. I mean, give Nintendo some credit. It's not easy to make a really good game on a hardware that old. You need the ocarina. Well, it's literally right before the first door. So that was the part I forgot about. It does suck that I had to backtrack. Like, having to backtrack like that is just dumb. Like, part of me feels like the game should cue you into the fact that you need an ocarina, but the game felt the need to tell you, like, at least just say, like, you can't go here yet till you talk to what's-her-name. Like, at least tip us off to the fact that you need the ocarina before you even go over here. Thankfully, it's not a long trip. You're just going a couple of screens over, so it's not terrible. Like a much bigger game from this era might make you spend like 10 minutes backtracking to that point. See, there's the ocarina. So again, it's stuff like that, you know. The game never cues you to that kind of stuff. You're just supposed to kind of figure it out. But because there are so few places you can go this early in the game. Actually, I should have. Let me reset. I need to heal myself. Give me a second. Whoops. Yep. Okay, so I have to go all the way back to town. Okay, so can I pick this up? Up. Yeah, funny how that ocarina wasn't here 5 minutes ago when I was looking for it because I knew it was here. Again, it's stuff like that. It's like, the game should not do that to you. The game should, like... First of all, whoop. See, I don't want to... Whatever I lost, I don't want to lose it. Because I lost a bit of health. So yeah, basically I just don't want to die until I get back to the end. So there's your problem. I forgot to save my game at the end. And again, imagine playing this game without save states. Like imagine just playing this thing like you had a battery and having to go back to the end because you didn't know that you had to backtrack. Of course, the first time I played this game like a day or two ago, I backtracked all the... Whoop, that's right, I can rewind. Yeah, I have a rewind button. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I know some people feel some kind of way about that, but some games are just hard, like, in annoying ways. Like Battletoads, even with all the rewinding, the game is, like, nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible to play normally unless you have, like, Nintendo power or something. Like, the amount of repetition you would have to do to play that game would just make it interminable. But adding the rewind feature gives the game something like a manual save state. Well, there are also infinite save states in Battletoads if you play the rare replay version. So there is that. But the problem with Battletoads is that even with the save states and the rewind features, the game's just interminable. The game is just interminable. Like it's frustrating. It's frustrating in a way that a game like that should only be if there were infinite lives, which is what you basically get in the rare replay version of Battletoads. You need to go to the end, which is all the way over here. Then I guess we'll buy some upgrades. I don't know. I mean, it's easy for me to earn the money back. Like, it wouldn't take me that long to earn the money back if I spent it. Well, whoop. Yeah, I gotta get to the end. Like I said, these mushroom men are everywhere. So we're here with the Vic Viper slashing. We're here with the Gradius sword, slashing Vic Vipers and slaughtering the Mushroom Kingdom. It'd be like that. That's how Sega feels about the Mushroom Kingdom. So I guess we'll save our game here. What if I said no? If I said no, the game will probably go back to the title screen. I guess I can try that out before I'm done recording this video. This might be a 1-hour video after all. So we'll do a save state here. Okay, so now I know where the Oracle is. So I guess if I were to make a ground zero save, it would be right back at the first save spot. I mean, first of all, that's one of the problems with having a battery I mentioned before, is that a battery basically just saves a password so you don't have to type it in. So, I mean, arguably a battery could... I forget how many characters a battery can save. But all you're really doing is... I think all you're doing is telling the console to say, okay, here's a 64-character password. The next time the player selects that save game, automatically enter this password, and that's the same thing. Now, personally, I think a video game should have both. Or, like, if you wanted to save money, give people an option. Give them a battery, or give them a battery with automatic password entry. Or give them... Or, hey kids, you want to save $5 on the price of this video game? Get a version that doesn't have a battery. But you have to type in your own passwords. Which, let's be honest, that's kind of a microtransaction thing. That's probably a bad idea. It's probably a bad scene. Again, the distance on this stupid table knife that I got here is not great. Ow! Like, I'm not taking hits because the enemies are hard, and it's not. I'm not taking hits because the enemies are hard. I'm taking hits because the enemies can only be attacked. They can only be damaged if they are right on top of you. Like, you're basically waiting for them. You basically can't strike until you not only see the whites of their eyes. You can't strike until you can literally see the pupils in their irises. Like, it is impossible. It is not. It was really hard to get a beat on these enemies. So I got the Ocarina of Time. Okay, by the way, this is going to require a bit of audio accompaniment because there's some musical notes I got to play. So I'll turn on the music for that part. And we'll do a couple of save states because this is trial and error, kids. Just so you know. So let me get that music on. Oh yeah, I have to equip it. Sorry, this whole thing. Go to the item menu. Select the ocarina. We're going to select the left part of the item menu. So to get up here, you have to hold X and press either left or right on the D-pad. The way it works is if you press right on the D-pad, see that little fireball over there? I'm going to use the Firestorm spell, like Jolanda from Valkyrie Profile. If I press left on the D-pad, I will activate the ocarina. So I'm going to hold down the X button and then press left on the D-pad. Again, this is completely unintuitive. This is never explained in any manual. I didn't have a manual with this game. This collection doesn't include any manuals. You have to go online to read a manual or a walkthrough that explains this thing. Now, I'm willing to bet that most walkthroughs are made for the Genesis version. So they're not going to explain this to you, probably. So I'm doing you a service. I'm doing you a solid, okay? X, left. So now I have to press the buttons in a particular order. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. That was too slow. You have to start playing within a second. X, left. Hold X and press left. Okay, so I pressed X and that was the wrong key. So again, you have to guess the notes that you have to play in the proper order. So you have to press the buttons in the correct order. But the game doesn't. But if you press the wrong button, the game will tell you did it wrong. But if you press the button correctly, it won't prompt you to press the next button. It just wants you to press the next button in the sequence, and it will tell you when you screwed up. So again, it's complete trial and error. So X is not the first note we need to play. So we're going to try Y next, and we're going to try B next. Okay, so it's Y is the first button, but B is not. Y is the first note, but B is not the second note. So Y is definitely the first note, no matter what. Oh, YX, YX, okay. YX, YX, well, it's not B. I think it's YX, YX, Y. YX, YX, YB, Y. Okay, that's the correct sequence. Get it, fam. Okay, so it was literally just a music puzzle. This is where Ocarina of Time got it from, clearly. So what's the... I'm going to sit through that again. I'm going to save my game after every melody. So that's the song I already played. Oh, okay. So if I select the ocarina, the game just automatically plays the melody. I wonder if that melody applies to the next door. I want to say it doesn't. Ow! again, these enemies aren't hard. Like, they aren't very difficult. It's that it's too hard to hit them. So if I play the ocarina, what happens? Oh, so I actually need to stand on it to play it. Okay. Sorry. I was hoping the game would give me a clue. Okay. So Y is not the first. Y is not the first node. X, Y. So it's X then Y. It's not X, Y, X. Oh, sorry. X, Y, but not X. Okay, so it's not X, Y, Y. So it's probably X, Y, B. It's X, Y, B, I bet. X, Y, X, B, Y. No, it's X, Y, B, Y. Okay. X, Y, B, Y. B, Y, B, probably. Oh. Okay, I was slow, sorry. X, Y, B, Y. B isn't it? X, Y, B, Y, X is not it. X, Y, B, Y, B. X, Y, B, Y, B, X, I think that was. If I go through the door, we'll play the next melody. That's the melody I just played a few seconds ago. Okay. And we'll save. Again, not doing that again. Again, there was no way I could have figured that out without calling error. There was no fail state. Oh yeah, when you see the left-hand side of the screen, and you hit an enemy, the life bar appears next to it. So it's like Final Fight. When you hit an enemy, you can see how much damage it is. You see how much health they have left. So below the heart, on the left side of the screen, that's the little meter you see over there every time I touch an enemy. I remember that from my first video, so I just got to mention it. Up. I'll take that. I'm bowled over. That is good stuff. Alright. Extra heart. Again, the real problem I have with this game, more than anything else, is just that puny weapon I have to deal with. And I can't buy a better one. So it's not Y. So Y is not the first note. And X, but not Y. So it's X then some other note. X and probably B. X, B, but not Y. Let's try XBX. So it's XBB then. XBB, not Y. XBBX, but not B. Let's try XBBY. XBBXY. XBBXB, not Y. X, B, B, X, Y, but not big. Okay, it's X, B, B, X, Y, but not big. X, B, B, X, Y, X, I think that was. I don't even know what I pressed. Again, I just don't think... I think this is a terrible way to gate content. Because there's no way to know what the melody is except for trial and error. I mean, the melodies are short, and that's fine. There's a boss. I'll take that. Where did those come from? They're not complaining. I like getting free. Okay, I'm going to use my Firestorm. I don't think it's doing anything. Yeah, it wasn't that useful, was it? I might need a better sword. Yeah, got a little bit of healing. I think I saved my game before all this. I probably should have had a better sword. Yeah, so I don't think my Firestorm is doing anything. Game over. Let's see what the fail state is. I should turn off the music though. Okay, that's a terrible save spot. I might need more magic. Okay, by the way, that Firestorm is not particularly useful, by the way. So it's not going to work here against this boss. I think I need a better weapon. We'll see what happens. See? Free heart. Free heart. So all I have to do is jump here and you get those free hearts at the top of the ivy. That's cool, I guess. Yeah, the Firestorm doesn't work. Maybe I need to come back with some medicine. Ah! You got some mad hops for a mushroom. Yeah, this mushroom gets real high. It's a sick vertical on that mushroom. I got another Firestorm. How does that work? Fires? Like I said, all you Valkyrie profile fans, raise up. Raise up to the sky like Lennon. Yeah, so I got a bunch more Firestorm. That seems cool. Don't know if it helps, but it seems cool. So I gotta come back the way I gotta go back the way I came, I guess. I mean, I can create another game save to kind of see what happens. But yeah, like I said, that dude has some mad hops. Gotta give it up to the Myconoid. Myconoid got mad hops. Here's your... Oh, so the door disappears at the exit. Is this a one-way exit? Seems like... No, okay, that's where it dumped me out. So it's like Skyrim. The exit dumps you out of the cave, dumps you out the other side of the cave. It dumps you right back out the entrance. Ooh. All the mushrooms are dead. Yeah, I'll think about it. I don't need that medicine now, thank you very much. I probably should have bought some before I left. So it all worked out in the end. I can imagine getting stuck on that boss for a long time if I didn't get there with enough health. So I guess I'll open some more puzzle doors later in the game, huh? Give me the loot! I've already got some loot from the dead mushroom. Go beyond the large tree. Wait, what tree? Oh, thanks. What tree am I going towards again? No, she's not. She's whacking dudes in the head. I don't think she's doing much beyond that. You mean this? Oh, this tree. Okay. Guess we're gonna go to the mana tree, the world tree. Oh yeah. Ooh, free money. Look at this. I like this. I like getting free money that just pops out from the background. That seems cool. I want to say Wonder Boy and Monster Land, the second game in this collection. If you jumped in certain areas, you would get coins, like in Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super NES. If you jumped in certain places, treasure chests would appear in that game. Though they weren't always guaranteed to be worth something, unfortunately. Oh, by the way, I don't sink in the water here. I float. But I think if I'm wearing certain gear, I can sink if I need to, which I believe is necessary in certain situations. I should have saved my game, shouldn't I? You know what? I gotta go back. Load state. I didn't save my game. Let's see if we can go, because I need to heal myself and then save my game. That sounds like a very good idea. Let's not press forward until we actually save our game and get our health back. So I guess we're gonna. This is me. That was me teasing the next video, I guess, because I managed to get an hour into this game and beat the first boss. So there is that. Now, will I play this game again? You know, maybe. I think this crappy sword and the inability for me to, like. There is a spear that I can buy, but the spear really isn't that good. I think I get a bit more distance, but not much more. And the fact that I can beat the boss with my regular Deku sword helps. I beat the boss with a freaking Deku stick. I beat the giant mushroom with a Deku stick. Maybe it was the magic hair I was using. It was the magic hair I got from All Might. 10 gold is good. I can earn 10 gold in like 30 seconds. So that's no big deal. Again, I don't mind paying for... I guess I don't mind paying to save your game so long as the enemies aren't hard. If all you have to do is just fight a couple of really easy mobs, you know, a bunch of really easy trash mobs to get some money to save your game, I don't feel so bad about that. Now, if I have to grind for like 10 or 15 minutes to earn enough money to save my game, that sounds terrible. So hopefully we won't have to do that. Let's at least get to where I was. Then we can do a manual save. Mark our progress. So the idea is to get to a dead end so I know exactly where I need to go. Alright, so we're good. Like I said, we're just going to tease the video by walking here through the sewers. What lies beyond the arrow pointing to the left? Come back to video number 2 for Wonder Boy collection. We'll see what's up. This has been the Wonder Boy collection on the Switch. This is Wonder Boy in Monster World. Video number 1. Let me back out a bit. Video number 1. Did I pick the wrong... Close game. Yeah, I already saved my game. Wonder Boy and Monster World on the Wonder Boy collection on the Nintendo Switch. Recorded the audio with my Skull Candy earbuds plugged into an audio splitter into my J5 Create USB-C dongle connected to my quad-core Windows 10 laptop. Recorded the footage at 60 frames a second using the Windows 10 camera app. I guess we'll be playing more of this later. This is video number 1.